Hello, and welcome to the first edition of the Mapfinity series from Disney Infinity. I have been inspired by so many of the other Disney Infinity builders and many of the different things that I've been able to do on Disney Infinity that I've wanted to be able to do this. Now, one of the things, and I'm going to talk about this probably repeatedly on all the different videos that I do, is what I am wanting to do is create and help to create the maps for you to be able to use. The ideas for the maps, kind of give you a basic rundown for the maps. I am not as expert as people like Professor Toybox or Pringle 72 Pringle or any of the others who will put in a lot of coding or anything like that. I'm not as expert in coding, and so you'll notice, in fact, even on this toy box here of the Helicarrier, that there aren't a whole lot, if at all. I've got a couple of things set up to be able to code it in and to be able to set it up for it. But I just don't have really the chops to be able to do it, and it becomes kind of frustrating to me to be able to set some of those up. Maybe at some other time I'll get a little more daring and daring and be able to do it. I have left one piece unfinished from this Helicarrier just because I wanted to be able to take a moment and work through this one with you, so that you can kind of see one of the things that is a little bit of a challenge, but it also makes it really nice. And you can see right there, by the way, you can see I've got Falcon with me. Right here I've got a shield disc, a shield logo, and we're going to go and we're going to put that on the front of the Helicarrier. But I want to give you the tour first, and then we'll take it through the Helicarrier. Let me give you the bird's eye view. This is part of why I used Falcon, is so that he can fly up here. And yes, definitely indeed the bird's eye view. Here is our Helicarrier. Let's go up a little bit higher so that you can see what the Helicarrier looks like. One of the challenges with the Helicarrier's turbines has always been trying to figure out what to do with those turbines. I at one point started putting some things in the middle. You can see that on the back right, or back left, excuse me. It would be the starboard side, the aft starboard. And I still may do that on these other ones. It was just kind of a little bit of a challenge to be able to go through and do it, and I wanted to get this up and online to be able to show you a little bit of what everything is. So let's fly through here, and I can show you a little bit of how the Helicarrier looks from the front. And here's what you can see. You can see that I've got the shield logo there, that button in between, just right above his head. I've got the button that we're going to be able to do over on the other side, over on the port side as well, just to kind of show you a little bit of what it looks like. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the challenges that come from that. But it is definitely worth it. But it is sometimes a pain in the neck to be able to do. So here is the tour of the Helicarrier. Let's actually start up above on the top level. And all of this is accessible from other characters. It should be, at least, especially when we get the working. Oh, that is interesting. The working. I don't even think we have it working. My kids were helping me out with it too, and yeah, it's not working currently. But once the elevators get working, which they aren't, these areas right here will go up and down. But inside here, this is obviously the bridge to the ship, to the Helicarrier, and you can see then we have a way to get up there by climbing up onto that and being able to walk around on the bridge. I've added a little baby Groot on the bridge just for the fun of it. Being able to go out and look out over everywhere. And when I say the bridge, this isn't the main bridge. This is more the the flight bridge, kind of the control tower, the air traffic control tower. and I put that separate. One of the other things that I want to kind of point out, you can climb up there on that, is when I do these, I don't really go as by the book. I use things, I used a lot of reference, and you're going to see this on one of the ones I do later, which is the 10 Rings compound from Shang-Chi. I looked and used a lot of, and Shang-Chi, the 10 Rings compound is probably my most accurate of all of them, but I use it as a guideline, and then I will go from there to just make a little bit more personable and just kind of add my own personal touches to it, and using it more just as a guide for where I wanted to go with it. So down here is the lower part of the hangar, or the hangar itself. Put a lot of different vessels, different ships into it, even some that you could drive. I believe, yeah, some that you can drive. Access to each of the engine areas. Ooh, I need to, nope, this is actually how that's supposed to be. So that in case you had Iron Man and you wanted to go out and repair, if you wanted to make the ship malfunction in some way and have them go out and repair, you could have that available to do. There's the other side of the elevator to be able to go up and down. And honestly, I know it's a fairly simple build to do the elevators, and this actually is the one, there were two of them, because this one goes all the way up to the top, where the other one only goes halfway up, part way up. The elevators are the best way to get up through those. I've also added just a nice little hidden back space to be able to go kind of into the back rooms, back wall areas of the ship, and be able to go around. So this is the hangar area. One of the things that I know a lot of Infinity builders have discovered is windows. It's difficult to find windows. So what I have done is I will use the barriers on it for interior windows to give it kind of a little bit more. I use the castle skin, the castle theme. And then you'll see as we get into the main area of the main command bridge that I use the metal one, the one that's just like this one to the right here. So this is the science area, and I decided to kind of throw in a little bit of a scientific area, kind of similar to what, and again, not keeping exactly it was in the movie, but in the Avengers movie, but I did make sure to put Loki's scepter there to be able to kind of have that little homage to the show. Also, you'll find there's a couple of different Iron Man suits. Coming down the hallway here, walking through, and you can see right in here is the main meeting room, the war room that everybody can go into. It's kind of nice being able to put those two back to back, those tables back to back, because they're just not very big, to kind of give that feeling of prominence and grandeur. This is probably one of my favorite areas of the ship. This is the front command center area, and with this command center area, you can see I've done some spiral staircases that go the opposite ways of one another, all of these different things, and then used those windows, those barriers as windows on here, as well as putting in some helicarrier pieces from the interior. Using the hologram thing gives it a little bit of a clear, transparent view, but also kind of gives it a little bit of that technological view. But I didn't want it to be all of this window type here, so I decided to throw those holographic styled blocks in there. They're just floors and walls, short block walls and small floors to be able to do that. If you turn around, you can kind of see the way that it just kind of looks commanding there. One of the things I'm going to probably add is a few different shield agents to be able to just stand there and have them standing in that way. Also added a couple of the Stark pillars just to kind of give it a little more technological thing. Also from the oh, I just realized there's a spot. Well, let's try that. I hadn't styled these yet. I think what I was planning to do was the iron, because that's the way I have it on that level. Oh my goodness, where is it? Iron rivets. And I just hadn't styled that yet, so I'm going to style all these. You can see from the floor above, I haven't styled those yet either, and those will be, we'll style those when we get to it, when we get down to that floor. I think I was planning to style it differently because of what's on the other side of the wall. I think that's the Tony Stark's personal workspace that I put on there, but we'll hurry and style these. One of the things that you'll see as I do more of these is I find that oftentimes I will go through and I'll just hurry and place things, not sure of exactly what they're going to be styled to look like. I'll do the build and then try to go through and style later. I have done some Star Wars ones as well, and they have the exact same issue. I did a lower level of Coruscant, kind of patterned after that brown bat, and did a similar type of an issue that I had. You can also see that most of the styling either comes from doing a walls and things like that. You can see these are some storage areas, and I just put the iron rivets style onto it. But this is supposed to be some storage area, shipping crates, things like that. But the main areas as well, you can see those areas are terrain, and they're done with the Calhoun command style. I'm even getting myself lost down here. This is kind of a little bit of a maze as we go around. I created an area that's kind of a Captain America area. Didn't know what more to do with it, so I just kind of put a couple of different homage to Captain America there. The steps that go down, and those steps go down again to the command area. I hope I'm not getting anybody too lost on this. I know I am, just by walking around. Just a couple of different odds and ends through some of the hallways that we've got here. I've got another hallway. This is the part that's directly below the science area. I just added some like engine area. Oh, this area right here is the engine room. As you come through here, you walk through and there's an upper and a lower level of the engine room. I decided just to add one of those big water tanks to give it a little bit of unique flair to it, unique feel. Oh, I didn't fly around to the back. I'll fly around to the back so you can see the back side here in just a moment. But this is the back side of the Helicarrier. Again, using a lot of iron rivets, using a lot of the other stylized that I used is, oh my goodness, I can't remember what it's called. Let me get to it here so you can see it. It is right there, the Hoth hanger wall is a lot of other ones that I used. So know that you can use a lot of Hoth hanger wall ones. I brought in a lot of different things from the interior, and that does create a couple of issues as you go through the interior. We've already been down this area. You've got to decide what kinds of things you want to place down, what things you don't. Here's the barracks. This is again on the starboard side, just below the main level. I don't know what I did there. Oh, I made it a small entrance. and that's coming down again. Now we're getting near the front on that starboard side. I did a great job of, oh, there's the one command area that I haven't finished the floor on. And I'll go back and finish some of those, just stylizing it. I did create, if I can find it now, I did create a, oh, here it is, the Tony Stark secret lair in here, and just put a couple of Iron Man suits in here, and some floors, just kind of, it made it a little difficult to find so that it was, you know, Tony Stark has his own little secrets. So it's just across from the barracks. So what I did with a lot of this is just kind of filled it in through each of these levels, kind of just how I wanted to. I started by creating the main design of the ship, and went from there. We'll go back up rather than trying to find stairs. We'll just go back up and come back out. Oh, I didn't come over this way. So over by the science area, behind the science area, kind of goes through it a little bit, is another entrance that goes, if you turn right, you go upstairs, and you end up coming out on the port side of the ship. Port side is left. There's 4 letters in port, 4 letters in the word left. That's how you always know as you're looking forward. We'll do just one other quick look. I did put in some track, dusty crop hopper. I wasn't sure whether I wanted it to go at an angle, how I wanted it to go, so I did kind of the Y junction on the top area, and then also, and you can kind of see maybe, oh, you can kind of see a little bit of what that looks like. I guess I can't be flying while I'm doing it. Just adding in a couple of different pieces to that, but adding in the stylized things like straight ahead there, you can see the shield logo all over everywhere, and it just kind of makes it. And I added one Avengers one to make this the Avengers main flagship. You can just kind of see that there's a lot of different ways you can just explore. You can just have a whole lot of fun going out onto the decks of the ship. Let me swing you around to the back side here before we make our quick little adjustment on the other part. I just decided to add some engines to the back, make it look like there was some nice engine work on the back, so we kind of did that. I forget how to go down without hurting myself. Oh, I'm going up. Okay, we'll do that. So you can kind of see, I just took and added a couple of different fans, a couple of different things from the interior, to kind of give it a nice little feel as though it's being propelled forward. And I like this sky dome that I used. It kind of gives you a feel like you're almost over an ocean until you look at it and you go, okay, well, maybe we're in space, or something like that. But it does kind of give you that ocean, over the ocean feel to it. So let's go into Spark mode. And we're going to come over here. We're going to pick this up. Again, I got these. That's why I still have the door there. I got this from the interior. You can learn. There's plenty of tutorials. Professor Toybox has a great tutorial on it. There's a couple of other Infiniteers, should we call them? A couple of other individuals who do Infinity that have some really great tutorials on that. 72 Pringle has one as well, I believe, just to be able to know how to go in. And I also believe that that Brown Bat did have one. I don't know if he still does have one of those up or not. So going here, so what you'll notice when you pull one of these from the interior, you can't put them and place them onto any of the other boxes. You'll see everything turn red that you can't use. So what I will do generally is I will back away. I'll come over a little bit. I'll back away where I want to put it. Luckily for this one, there isn't too much that I have to move. I move this one up. for whatever weird reason, one of the other ones I didn't need to move the track. This one I do. So I'll move the track, just taking, you go only one direction, either straight up or straight down. Don't move too many directions or else you'll get yourself confused and then you won't be able to put the blocks back where you want them. And move that over just to right where I want it. And then I can move the blocks back into place, as well as the track. So with this one, with this helicarrier, there are many different things you can do with it. You can add in, and I try to leave myself, when I'm doing these, I'm going to try to leave a little bit of space. You can see from the space meter that's left on there how much space I still do have left. There's a good amount that you could program in a couple of different missions for this helicarrier. I'm going to go back into Spark mode so that you just can kind of see it all over the top and everything like that. A lot of the use of angled blocks down below, you can see when I came, oh, sorry about that. When I came onto the side, I used still the angled blocks as you go down, except for a couple of spots where I made them straight. But there, I just used straight blocks. Oh, as far as this goes, inside the middle, just to kind of give it a little bit more of an engine-y feel, I used the straight, the small floor, and just every other one I used carbon. The carbon and the that one's the Hoth. Great for it. Just to kind of give it a space to be able to do. On these corners, I used the yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness. Those pieces that are there are the curved, somebody's yelling at me right now saying, I know what you're talking about, and saying what it's called. The conveyor belt. So you use the conveyor curd from the Droid Factory and the platforming toys. I just did 2 layers of them. Just kind of gives it a little bit more of a feel. It does use up a lot of memory, so there might be some other things. I know that Professor Toybox recently in his Sokovia build from Age of Ultron used some other things instead. But you know, whatever you feel works really, really well. Using some of those, going around here so you can kind of see what we've got from this whole helicarrier. The other cool thing is when you have this, you can take and get, I'm going to add it right now. I can exit the Spark mode, exit back onto the deck, and I can throw on an Avenge jet, and use it to take off. I'm not really familiar on flying this one, so, but there is the Avenge jet power disc that you can use, so make it even more Avengers-like. Oh, okay. And then hop out of it. Those don't stay, they don't stick around if you put a power disc with it. But anyway, that is, if you have any other questions as far as this goes, please feel free to let me know. You can kind of see some of the different things that I've added, and if you have questions about where different things got added, please let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to talk a little bit more about some of those. And as I learn about how to take you through these tutorials or these walkthroughs, I'll be learning more from you, and that's kind of what I want to be able to get as well. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you on one of the other ones again.